Today's sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to the Tar Heel State, where the legacy of the late, great Sam Mills lives on with each pound of the drum. And that means we are ready for football here at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. It's all about divisional matchups on this final day of the regular season, and we've got a compelling one in store here. As it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Carolina Panthers. Kyle Shanahan on the 49ers sideline. These guys flew across the country for this one. Always tough to play in the early slate of games when making that trek. His counterpart on the other side, the Panthers' Dave Canales. These guys came up short on the road last week. Now they're trying to turn things around in front of the home crowd here. Set to go now on a wet and rainy afternoon. And off we go from Uptown Charlotte. Oh, good-looking return set up here. Now that should give him a spark. He's across the 40 to the 43. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. And leading the charge, we get a look at their 6-year quarterback.
And there was a positive in last week's loss. No interceptions thrown by him. But he only threw one touchdown pass, and you know he wants that to improve. We might even consider that as part of the reason that they couldn't take the win last time out. I believe we'll see a more aggressive version of him this week whenever they're nearing the end zone.
At the 43-yard line.
Young off the play fake. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive.
Right at the line of scrimmage.
Young. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they were able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
A little juke. A very good punt, but a 16-yard return. And the Niners are going offense. 1st and 10. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a look here at the veteran under center, their 7th-year quarterback.
If you ask coaches at any level to design their ideal leader of a team, I think they're going to check every box with this guy. He's got the poise to handle responsibility. He stays calm under any kind of pressure. And he brings out the best of his teammates each and every week.
It's 2nd and inches at their 48-yard line.
Now here comes Ayuk on the jet sweep. And this is not going to work as planned. He's going to be met and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. The home team's offense and their quarterback coming out for their 2nd drive. And he's been very impactful when using his legs this year, both when the pocket breaks down and by design. You notice his name sits near the top when looking at the league leaders in rushing yards by a quarterback. That's taken in. It's Xavier Legette. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. They run here with Rico Dowdle. And he stopped immediately there. Now a 2nd and 10.
Right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Here's Young from the shotgun. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 14 yards that time for number 14.
10 at the 48-yard line.
We always hear from coaches how much they like to run crossing routes because they want to hit their receivers on the go, get them the ball, and keep them moving. How about when you hit a tight end that way? Okay, the receivers are going to run past you most of the time. A tight end, they can do their damage a different way, break a few tackles, and really scatter some people, can't they?
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's second down and 7. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
That's another Panthers first down. First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football. Now 2nd and 9. As they've got it as we resume action. On second down, they'll try and run the counter. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. From the shotgun, it's Young. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had it and dropped it. That is an unforced error there, and it takes away what could have been a touchdown. So on 4th down, Austin McNamara comes on to punt. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. Back out there comes the 49ers offense, ready for their second drive. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Another run with McCaffrey on second down. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
And it's 3rd down.
Purdy now to throw. Now he's going to step up and run. And he is not going to get to the marker as they stop him short at the 14. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
Fair catch called for. No gimme in these conditions, but he's able to look this one in. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And he's been a tough guy to contain this year, and his numbers reflect that, as you can see right here. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM that always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
That's good for the Panthers.
They'll run with Evans. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
He's brought down at the 31. 4 yards on the pickup.
Here's Evans.
2nd and 6.
And shutting him off, now open field. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now they'll run on the draw. And he's going to take this down to about the 17. We'll get a pause here. There appears to be a Panther who is shaken up on that last play. Now, this is just the last thing you want to see in the final week of the regular season. Well, I hope he's okay. We'll step aside and be right back. They'll hand it to Tracy. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
3 yards.
Inside give to Davis. And he'll find his way down right around the 12. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 12-yard line.
They'll try to throw now. Young. Now he'll tuck this and run. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Bryce Young taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Panthers will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half.
If you're going to play quarterback in the NFL, you've got to have great vision, and you've got to remain calm when things break down in the pocket. Both of those traits were on display there. He surveys the situation, sees the middle of the field open, so he's just going to step up and take it himself. Very well done there.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. Nice little juke. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Niners ready to go on offense for the final time of this first half. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Play action. Now Purdy. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he gets this up to the 34, out of bounds there.
Out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Back to throw, Purdy. He'll get this out right here to McCaffrey. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40.
And the 49er first down. It's a gain of 6. And the 49er first down.
Here's Purdy. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
But there's an incompletion, partner, and the struggles through the air continue because so far their lack of passing production has led to a lack of points.
Purdy will look to throw again here. He's got his target. That's complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
At the 44-yard line.
Throwing here, Purdy. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Horn. And the Panthers are going to get the football back as time will run out in this third quarter of play.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone. Scott Hansen here in our thankfully dry studios in Orlando. That's obviously not the case at the stadium, where the rain continues to play a factor in this game. Who will take better advantage of it in the second half? To find out the answer, let's go back out to the stadium and rejoin our commentary team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Scott, thank you. The rain, maybe not quite as heavy as it was earlier, but still coming down pretty good as we prepare for the second half. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter.
Well, out of the locker rooms here they come. Their first drive of the third quarter. And, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game, but we got a tight one set up to be a very entertaining second half.
And as we know, partner, in the NFL, there's trailing and there's trailing, right? Sometimes you're discouraged by how much you're down, but in this case, this is a tight ball game, so there's a sense of optimism here. I think they went in at the half and looked at their play sheet and said, these are the plays we really like. What do you say we use them to start the second half and get us going?
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Now Purdy. That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. First and 10.
First down, 49ers.
And here comes Ayuk on the jet sweep. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there.
Second and 9.
Brings up second and 9 at the 45-yard line.
McCaffrey running up the middle. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
And it's third down.
Purdy looking to throw.
And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down. Here comes the 49ers punter now as he's on to kick it away. And that'll kick and go out of bounds just outside the 15 at the 16-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half. Their defense has pitched the shutout. Now they probably need to deliver a little breathing room, maybe make it a 2-score game as they've got it first and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Off the play fake, Young. And a catch right side by Evans.
And he's able to break out of one tackle, but then quickly brought down.
Mitchell Evans. It's a gain of 4. Brings up
third down, Young from the gun. Throwing right, and that's complete. Here's the Panthers punter now. Standing right on his own 5-yard line. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. 36 yards on the punt with no return.
And it will be first and 10 as they take over. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line. First and 10
at their own 43. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Completes it to the tight end, Kittle. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
And the 49er first down.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And he takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a game. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Third and 5.
And it's third down.
Purdy will set up to throw it here. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And the 49er first down. It's a gain of 10. First down, San Francisco.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's 49er football, but some ground to cover. They find themselves behind as we hit the fourth and final quarter. Up the gut, McCaffrey. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. Ayuk goes in motion. Purdy. That's complete to Pearsall. So give him 2 yards there on the completion. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
And it's 3rd down.
Looking to throw. Purdy. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And he'll find his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. Shotgun now with Purdy. That'll be caught by Ayuk. Touchdown 49ers.
Touchdown.
Brandon Ayuk, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Niners are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. Now for the point after. And no sweat, he puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. A 10-play drive that time. Now this one setting up for a great finish, all tied in the 4th as the kick's away. And able to get this out to the 25. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown, all tied up in the 4th quarter, and a chance for this offense to mount a potential game-winning drive right here. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good gain.
10 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and inches.
On the give, it's Tracy. And he's got room. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
That's good for a Panthers first down. 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Defense really kept him in check running the football in the first half. Maybe that'll be a spark for him here in half 2.
So 2 words come to mind for me. Resilient, because he has to keep bouncing back after some limiting runs. And how about relentless? Keep going, knowing that you may pop one, as he just did there.
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. On the ground, it's Evans. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. They face a 2nd down, but they are in field goal range.
And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Well, the elements, the crowd, the situation, this is NFL football at its best. Here's third down. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game.
Eddie Pinheiro for the Panthers field goal. A 43-yard attempt.
And this is up and good from Pinheiro. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the fourth quarter, but he connects there. A big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
So Purdy and the Niners down 10-7, a minute 25 to play. A chance to end this season with a bang as they come up with a 1st and 10. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey.
Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
Purdy to throw.
32-yard line.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout, as the clock will stop with a minute 6 left to go in the game.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him, but even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
He's going to let it fly. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And that's the downside of taking these big shots, because they're definitely lower percentage plays. And now you look up, and it's 4th down. So not only do you have to worry about getting big yardage, you also need to just keep the game alive.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Panthers are going to get it back in excellent field position. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
So this one is over. A victory for Carolina. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory, as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.
So for Carolina, the win is their 8th on the year. And by just about all accounts, not the type of year they were hoping to have. Meanwhile, for San Francisco, this loss will be the capper to what will be a disappointing 5-12 campaign. And with some high picks coming in this spring's draft, it's a team for whom a roster overhaul may be on the way. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.